Welcome to Home Dad Chat, brought to you by the National At Home Dad Network. My name is Brock,
My name is Danny.
and we are here to talk about life as stay at home dads. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
No, I don't want much. I even love handmade crafts made of macaroni. Come on now, you should know me. Times I might eat too much. No worry about my weight. Got the dad bod rocking on me. Sketches on my feet. Cargo shorts look good on me. I'm a dad, that's what I do.
Welcome to 2024 and Home Dad Chat. How y'all doing? Danny, morning.
Morning. You got that deep voice, that deep radio voice for you. Your voice is almost as cool as mine today.
I'm going to go sing some Johnny Cash at a bar here later.
Yeah. Well, definitely. No offense, but at your age, I hurt myself today.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's just the end of the
That's
song.
it.
For
Yeah.
you.
That's
Yeah.
all
Yeah, I
did.
did. I slept. Did you sleep wrong? No. Everything's pretty good. It just woke up hurting.
I blew my nose this morning and my back is out also.
Right.
Oh, gosh.
Excuse me.
Don't die on me, Danny.
No, not yet. Yeah, but talking about being sick, I've got it. We went into Christmas with it, and we went to Christmas with all of our families, and we were sick, and my wife was like, "Man, it's Christmas," and we went and we spent I don't know 4 or 5 days at a cabin, and they were sick too, and they have the youngest were like oh God, he's probably 2 and 3 year old kids, so they're just
Walking a petri
naturally,
dish.
yeah, just snot just all the time, and it was just woke up this morning and Marnie's done. I'm pretty sure she's got a fever.
She waved the white flag.
Yeah, she's up at 5, right?
Oh.
And yeah, and I woke up when she started moving around or whatever, but she couldn't relax. Got up and got some medicine and stuff, and got back in bed. And I went and got some water and got back in bed. And she put her hand on my arm, and I felt like she was burning me with a brand. I was like, hey, stop, because I'm hot all the time anyway, right? And she's like, what? It's okay. I'm like, no, I think you got a fever.
Mm-hmm.
You should go check your temperature. And I realized where we were in our relationship at that point, because after 20 years together, I just told her to go do it. And I didn't get up and get the thermometer for her. And I lay there and I'm like, no, I'm not going to get up. When I get up, once I'm up and I get up at 6, then maybe I'll bring you the thing. So I did bring her some Gatorade and some saltines, just because I think when you're sick, you always need one of those two things: hydration, of course, and then sometimes you just feel like you need something to eat. And
Yeah,
saltines is easy, and you can't spill it much. Crackers in my bed, but who cares? But it was so funny in my head. A little voice went, "She wouldn't do it for you."
Oh,
And it's just, she would do it if I asked her to, right? And I would do it if she asked me to. But there's just a difference in how we care for each other, right?
I get that.
And I just got this little pissy, well, she wouldn't do it for me. I'm not gonna do it for her today. And I got, like an hour later, I got out of bed and I'm walking around, getting the big kids ready and everything. And my 10-year-old, he'll be 11 Friday, but my 10-year-old is sick. And I'm like, okay, so he's going to stay home, I can tell. And, the bigs are gone, and we'll probably get everybody else out. So I got 2 sick people at home all day. I took his temperature, of course. He's 10. I'll help him, and then I went in and gave Marnie the Gatorade and everything. And she was on her phone, giggling at a reel or something, TikTok. I don't know what she was watching, but I'm like, oh, okay. Well, you ain't that sick. You can check your temperature, you get yourself up, right? It was just funny, and in looking at it like from the 10,000 foot view. I'm like, Marnie's really changed me. She really has. When we were like the last 19 years, I'd have been like, oh no, let me get you this. I'll make some soup later. I did make soup last night, so she's got soup. So I'm going to use that as my excuse. But it was just so funny because I've been sick for, I don't know, a week and a half, but I'm just like this level of sick,
Yeah.
a little sore throat, a little sniffy, a little congestion, not COVID, not flu, nothing like that.
Yeah. just the seasonal crap.
Yeah, you just keep going, right? And normally I would be helping everybody, to get everybody going, make sure everybody's got what they need. Do you need some hot tea? What do you need? And I'm like, Psh, not one of you people, and this was it this morning, was all you people, not one of you people even offered me a Kleenex, much less make me soup or anything like that. So I was in a very selfish mood this morning, and I don't like it. I'm not proud of it or anything like that, but it made me laugh. It really did. Like,
Hey,
wow.
there's all kinds of stages to adulting and parenting,
Mhm.
and it happens. I get it. So
You're sick, you
yeah,
get tired. You're just tired and tired of it.
tired and
So,
sick and tired. Yeah,
yeah.
it's the old
How
as the
about
old adage goes.
right? How about you? I know you said you're a little scratchy this morning. Is that actually
Yeah,
sickness or?
it just got a little like scratchy throat. Is like nothing big, but it's progressed throughout the days and stuff like that.
Mhm.
I'm on the far end of being done with it, I can tell. So that's the best part about it, really. But
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, past week's been good. Had a huge New Year's Eve party at the brewery that was interesting. I'll tell you, it's really sad, people, the entitlement that you deal with when
Oh,
you're trying to
yeah.
like throw a party for people. And also too, just the
Yeah.
ignorance that people have with not reading details to what they're buying. Um,
Read
it's
the contract.
yeah, exactly like take the time, like read that, and then if someone tells you like, nope, that's not how it is, like don't get pissed off at them because you didn't do that. Like, um, so that
Right.
so that was interesting. I actually didn't even stay for the entire thing because it just my anxiety. I never really had done anything on that like on that kind of a level. Like, I mean, helping put on Home Dad Con is one thing, and also like you have all of these guys who support you, and like nobody's really out to like, you know, beat you down, I guess, like or come at you in a really negative way. But being in like a public venue like that, it was just tense, and
Hmm.
my my anxiety shot through the roof. I actually had a server came up to me and she was like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "I'm just glad that I upped my dosage on my anxiety meds a couple weeks ago because that's the only thing right now that's keeping me from just basically running out of this building at this point." Um, and so like I ended up talking to my boss who was there, and he was just like, "Yeah, man, if you need to go, go. It's not a big deal. Like everything's taken care of." And so I left and came home, and it was funny because later that night, I checked my phone before I went to bed, and the social media director had sent me a message that said somebody showed up at 11:30 and they were mad because we were closing at 12:30, and they thought that there was some sort of like after party thing. And I'm like, again, not reading like the
Hmm.
details. It's like,
Yep.
good Lord, people. So, yeah, other than that, everybody's pretty healthy in the house. So that's been good. Nobody's like the kids are actually been very healthy, which I'm super happy about because I haven't had to deal with much of that. But of course, they're back at school now. So
Uh-huh.
all bets are off by what will happen at the end of this week, because just like you were saying, like everybody's around everybody, and so if you're not sick now, there's a high probability that you will be within the next couple of weeks, probably with
Hmm.
something. So, which is the other thing Corey and I were talking about was like, we should probably go get our COVID shots. We haven't
Oh
done
yeah.
that. We haven't done that yet. We got our flu shots, so that was good, but we definitely need to go get the COVID ones, especially now since things are kind of ramping up with that. But other than that, things are good. Um, oh, you were talking about your son turning 11 here in a few
Hmm.
days. I also have a birthday coming up,
Hmm.
and I'll be 44. And I honestly, I don't know. I'm just gonna put this out there, see how anybody else feels about it. Because I was gonna type something up, and I'm in such a weird funk in some areas that I was like I couldn't even like bring myself to type something up on the dads of mental health group. I was like, It's like, oh, I'll put this in here. And then I couldn't even get myself to even like, I typed out like the first sentence and then I deleted it. I'm like, this is, I don't know. But regardless, like, I'm just in a place where my wife's like, what do you want to do for your birthday? And honestly, I'm like, I don't know. Like, I just feel like I'm just existing, honestly. Like, I, I don't really know. It's tough. There's some years where I'm like, yeah, like let's do something. And then there's other years where like literally like I'm just like, fuck it. Like I don't even care.
Hmm.
Like, and I'm
Yeah.
kind of right there in that sort of realm. And I don't like being in that because I know that Corey likes to, celebrate birthdays. And I'm just in this place of like, I
Hmm.
it's like just chalk another day up, cross it off, and let's keep moving on type of
Yeah.
deal. But
And
yeah, I don't know.
it's really hard too, because I mean, I look at it and grow up with birthdays, right? So I don't have like a tradition. I'm not used to it. So every time I do it, it's great. But a lot of times I don't want to do it. I just don't want to do anything. And other times I want everybody to celebrate my birthday. I just
Yeah.
want the entire planet to go, good job, Danny. Another year around the sun. Good
Yeah,
job.
exactly.
Um, every year though, I ask myself, is this my day? Is my
Mm,
birthday my day? And if it is my day, then is it acceptable for me to tell my family, I don't want to do anything? Let's just get some, order pizza in or something. It just could something. I don't have to cook dinner. Other than that, I don't really want to do anything. I don't need any presents. And so soon after Christmas, which I feel
yes.
like you run into, and my birthday's this month too. So you just don't have that line of delineation between all those Christmas presents and, oh, that one was for your birthday too. Is that cool? No, no, it's not cool. Is it okay if your present was for your birthday? No, it's not. But determining if it's about you,
Yeah.
because so much of what we do is not about us. So much.
Yeah.
And like even Father's Day, it's the same thing. I look at Father's Day and I'm like, is that for me though, or is that for my family to celebrate me?
Yeah.
Being a
Yeah.
dad. Where's the thing? And I feel like a lot of times with my birthday, I get to do what I want to do. And if that's nothing, then that's nothing. Because coming out of the holidays, Christmas, New Year's, Thanksgiving, even all of that time, January has a specific day, Blue Monday, which generally hits right about my birthday, to be honest, which is the lowest day emotionally, mentally for everybody in the nation. It is the most depressed day basically because you've been on a high and all this stuff and you got to come down and rest. And a lot of times we hit that low sink about a week or two into January
Yeah.
and you don't want to do anything, like,
Well,
no, I
the
just
other
did all
thing,
the stuff.
and the other thing too is that it's a cold month, like so
Hmm.
it's like it's not
Yeah,
like you can go do some, it's like to go do something where it's warmer, you gotta travel.
you
Well,
got to go.
that costs a lot of money, it costs money. You don't have that. Because me, like I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, if I was in a warmer state, I'd probably be like, all right, I'm gonna go somewhere like to a cabin. Like I would spend the money on a cabin for like a
Hmm.
couple of days where I know I could just sit in a rocking chair, have a bottle of whiskey beside me, and smoke cigars, and just
Yep.
really just take in nature. And that to me is like that's what I want.
Yeah.
It's like, and you can't do that in the winter around here,
No.
especially up where you are. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
for you, you'd be ice fishing,
It's
pretty much.
right. It's just like, what do we do now?
Like I
Oh
don't
no.
want to freeze my ass off to celebrate
Right.
my birthday.
And everybody's like, there's so much you can do in the winter. And there is so much more you can do here in the winter than you could do in Georgia. Georgia is just a wet, cold, but not cold enough month, right? It's just like a dreary fall type feeling where all the leaves are on the ground. They're all wet and slippery. And it's just like, ugh. And it's just cold enough. You need a jacket, but no snow, no ice, no, so
Right.
there's no ice skating, no skiing, nothing like that. And everybody's like, this is so great up here. And I'm like, that is amazing. And every single one of them, I will freeze my butt off.
Yep.
What? This is not the sliding scale has really, really slipped on this one. I go, yeah, you could do a polar plunge. I'm like, no, no, I'm not
Oh,
that
that
guy.
sounds awful.
I'm not that guy. I'm just not that guy. But, a fire is a great idea. I love, the idea of a campfire or whatever. And it definitely, if you keep it warm, they keep it going, it'll keep you warm all night.
With a
Um,
bearskin rug wrapped around you.
right. And I kid you not. All right. But
Bearskin blanket.
I've been looking at this waterproof it's for it's for LARPers, LARPer live action role
Yes.
player
Yeah.
of medieval things, where it is a waterproof cloak, right? And you can wear it like 19 different ways, which is cool. Hood, no hood, all this stuff. But it has an elk skin to go around the top across the shoulders and everything.
Okay.
And I've been talking to people that actually use it. And I met a guy here. He's like, yeah, dead of winter, I put that on. I'm not cold. I'm
Hmm.
like, how is that possible? It's one layer and an elk skin. He said, dude, elk are made to live here, and even their skin is still really, really warm. And I've been telling Marnie, I'm like, do you know how to sew? Because I could really handle, because I would love to be the guy walking around town in a freaking elk skin cloak. And you're like, who's that nut? I'm like, that's me. My name's Danny. I'm crazy, but I'm warm. Right.
Hey, look, it's Gandalf.
Right. Right. Well, I think they'd probably go like a dwarf or something because I'm fat. So it'd be like, he's
Oh,
actually only 4
fine.
feet tall.
Hey, look, it's Gimli. Gimli.
He's a tree trunk.
It's Gimli. Hi, Gimli.
So I want to remind everybody, and I want to remind you too, that for maybe for next year, the Milwaukee Dads group,
Oh, yeah.
City Dads group, is going camping on the 12th, 13th, and 14th. It's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Now, they're
Right.
going in, I believe, southern Wisconsin, so down by the Dells. So it's going to be warmer than
That's
central and northern Wisconsin.
That's an
at
interesting
least.
logic you have there for warmer.
Yeah. But they're going in campers.
I know.
And
I saw that.
I don't know that everybody is camping. I would not camp in a tent unless I had to this time of
God,
year,
no.
and I do not have the gear for that.
Unless
I
you
don't
have
a sleeping
unless you have a
bag.
tent that's actually got like the stovepipe set up where
Yes,
that's the only
Yeah.
way, man.
in a like below 0 degree sleeping bag, which I have never owned a sleeping bag for cold weather. I mean,
Not
it's
that
just
cold.
like, no, it got down to 20. Oh, no, we're not camping at 20 degrees. Are you kidding? And now it's like, well, I think the high is going to be 20. Oh, cool. Cool.
Well, I was wondering what a popsicle felt like in the freezer.
Right, right. But think about going camping, even though it's horribly cold, with a bunch of other dads, involved, active dads. A
Right.
lot of them, most of them, I think all of them are at home dads, but definitely dads who are there for their family, making those sacrifices and taking that time just a weekend away. And that's kind of what I'm doing for my birthday.
Yeah.
I'm going to go camping. I love splitting wood. I love firewood. I love fires. I love making fires, love building fires, all that. Right. And that with some cigars and probably some scotch is going to keep me going through those 3 days.
There you go.
Yeah. But just as a heads up, maybe there is something you could do for your birthday. Maybe there is something you could, again, in a camper, very, very different than hanging out outside waiting for the sun to come up. It seems like,
Right. Yeah, exactly.
freezing to death.
Can we
But,
build this
yeah.
fire up a little bit more until the sun comes up?
I need 2 fires. What? Yeah, one in front of me and one behind me. 'Cause
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
constantly rotating. I'm like a rotisserie chicken trying to get. I don't know.
And
My
one of
back's
those
cold.
and one of those old the things, I forget what it is. It's from like the medieval times or whatever, where like it's a metal and you can put like the hot coals in it. Have you seen that? Like from
Oh yeah, that you could put like in your bed or whatever.
yeah, and you put it underneath like it keeps you warm. That right there, that's what I'm talking about. Put that
There
right
you
underneath
go.
my butt while I'm sitting in a
Yep.
chair.
Yep. Did you ever see Jeremiah Johnson?
No.
Robert Redford? Wow. Okay. All right. Well,
No.
for all of us old people, I'm just going to say this line and they will all laugh. Didn't put enough dirt down. Saw it right off.
I definitely haven't
Yeah,
seen that
it's-
movie.
Yeah. Well, he builds. He's learning to be a mountain man, and so
Oh.
he's with a mountain man, and he's like, he's watching him put coals down, they spread the fire out where they're going to lay, and then they cover it with dirt, and they sleep on top of that. And about maybe 11, 12 o'clock at night, Robert Redford, who's playing Jeremiah Johnson, his blanket catches fire.
Oh,
And yeah, because he didn't put enough dirt down. And so he jumps up and he burned himself and he put the fire out. And the old guy just opens up one eye. He's like, didn't put enough dirt down. Saw it right off. And then goes back to sleep. And he's like, well, why didn't you say anything? Why didn't you tell me? He's like, no, there's only one way to learn up here.
yeah, that's right.
Didn't put enough dirt down.
Learn from making your mistakes on that one,
It was great.
definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. Suddenly you're on fire.
But yeah, so I don't know, something will come out of it. I told Corey, I was like, I don't know, I'm just trying to figure working out this whole funk and different things. So
Mm-hmm.
it comes and it goes. It's a whole ebb and flow kind of deal, and I feel like that's I don't know, like I don't know if that's just adult life or what the deal is. I think for me, like I was thinking about it the other day, I was like looking back and I'm like, like everybody's always like, oh yeah, congratulations, you made it one more time around the sun. And for me, like this past year was rough mentally, and I'm like, hey, congratulations, you made it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
um
You're
and
still here.
I'm still here because I mean, I've battled with depression and suicidal thoughts for years, and
Mm-hmm.
been some rough weeks actually this past year, and um
Absolutely.
just to have not like allowed that to get to take me
Mm-hmm.
is
To
probably
overwhelm
the
you. Yep.
even better accomplishment than just, hey, I made it around the sun kind of deal. Because
It is.
I
It
mean, yeah,
100% is. And I'm proud of you for doing it. I really
thanks.
am. And the reason I say that, and I think you can understand how genuine my feelings are behind that, is because it's the same for me.
Yeah.
You know, I went to my annual physical yesterday and talked to my doctor, and he's like, "Well, I mean, you're doing pretty good. You lost some weight. We'll see how the labs are for all the things." Um, and what have you been doing to lose weight and what have you? And I'm like, I haven't been doing anything this year. I don't know how I lost weight. I have not given one crap about what I eat. I have exercised a lot more in the last year, and I've taken my kids exercise a lot, um, and that's fun, and we enjoy it, and that's it. But honestly, Doc, uh, I ate whatever I needed to get through my day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it just like okay, I use food. I'm an emotional eater, and I'm eating my emotions, right? And he's talking about it, and of course, my psychologist, my therapist is absolutely aware of what's going on, suicidal ideologies and even self-harm and stuff like that. And she gets it. But the nurse for one, and then the doctor, it was, it was just an explanation of, no, you don't understand. This is just where I live.
Yeah.
And the fact that I'm still here is something I'm kind of proud of,
Yeah.
you know, and you should be. You should be able to look at what you've done and say, yeah, I have lived through the worst days of my life and I made it every single time. That's something to be proud of. It really is, Brock. And anybody listening.
Yeah. And it's, there's definitely been, like I said, like it's been an interesting past year. I don't even know, like, I guess like just adjusting to new life
Mhm.
in way, like with work and
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
like that has been interesting for me though too. The one thing, like I said, I went to the dads, was it yeah, dads of mental
That's dealing with mental
dads
health,
dealing with mental health group.
which
And
is a secret group nobody can find. So don't look for it.
exactly, which is yeah, so
Got to be special.
but the thing with it was I put in there, I was like, I really appreciate this group, even though I really don't post in it, because
Hmm.
even just kind of sitting in the proverbial like sharing circle and seeing and hearing other guys talk about what they're going through and listening to and reading like what other people comment on it, is one of those where uh, I can get something out of that. Just
Yes.
sometimes what somebody has shared about what they're dealing with, and then what people comment about it, is encouraging enough that
Mhm.
That's all I needed. Like one, like I'm not the only one. And two, like,
Yes.
all right, that's insight that I just needed to hear. And
Hmm.
those two elements are the combination that, helps me take that next step further and keep moving down the path. And that's that's really all that sometimes you can do, like when it comes down to it. So that's been kind of where I've been moving throughout the year. I'm trying to, with it being the new year, like set some new goals for how I'd like to kind of navigate 2024. Um, and that's always interesting because to do that, like you have to kind of evaluate uh
Yeah.
where you've come from and reevaluate what you want to change and what you want to do better, that kind of deal. And so all of that to say that I'm trying.
Hmm.
and I know that's not quite Yoda, like there's no try only do, but in this case that's what I got.
Yeah. Well, you're doing.
That
You
you're
are.
right. Yeah.
You really are, man. You're doing the things you need to do, and it has been a tough year. It really has. And you have put yourself beyond your limits a couple of times,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
which is something we do, especially as a parent, but it's what the work you've done with the organization, it's definitely a little bit more than maybe what you had to give. And that wears and wears and wears, and you keep doing it. And that's really something admirable. And I mean, I'm not saying anything that anybody should celebrate their birthday. You don't want to celebrate your birthday, don't. It's your day. Okay.
Yeah.
You want to let your wife and kids throw you a party? All right, sure. But if you're not in a celebrating mood, that's good. But I think it's a good opportunity to look and say, I've succeeded. That's worth celebrating, you know?
Yeah. Yeah,
That
definitely.
I would say. But
Well,
on the other hand, I want to
yeah.
talk for a moment. Now, you did mention Dad's Dealing with Mental Health Facebook group. We still, I don't really go to Facebook as much anymore because we're just kind of grown away from Facebook. I go to LinkedIn for a lot of stuff, Discord for a lot of stuff, and the Discord channel that we have for the organization is good and has a mental health section.
Right.
Same thing. It's just a matter of someone's there to listen when you need to talk. And it's a place where you can go and say, "Oh, yeah, I'm not the only person. I'm not the, I mean, if you think back even 5 years, if either one of us had said the word suicide, you know, it would be like, oh my goodness, oh well, you wouldn't know. We're gonna go to the hospital. No, no, it's not like that. It's not, I'm not in danger, but it's a feeling, right?
Yeah.
And that's a channel. And also, I'm just going to plug it. The Dad's Got to Talk channel. Our server is a place where you can go and see, oh, I'm not the only one. Or as an example, I didn't want to take care of my wife this morning. Screw it. I don't want to. That's a place where we get, as caretakers, we reach a point where we're like, no, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do this right now. I don't want to do this today. And to understand that there are other people dealing with it is so helpful. And the
Yeah.
main reason I'm saying this to you is because what you just said is therefore going to be helpful to other people.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. Maybe not to celebrate. Maybe be, maybe we try to be humble on that one, but the reality of it is every day that you succeed in that struggle is a day that another person will look at you and say, "Oh, well, they can do it. So I can do it."
Yeah. Well, and two, it kind of talking about what you were saying with, you're like, my wife can do, she can handle herself. Like she's not like deathly ill. Like she can get around.
Right.
I've always been in this place where like I get up in the morning and I have the duties of getting the kids around and getting them off to school.
Mm-hmm.
And on the on the weeks where my wife's like, I'm gonna actually go into the office for work because has to do that every once in a while. I used to like kind of stress out about the fact that like in the evening I'd be like, hey, like, when are you trying to leave the house in the morning? And she'd be like, oh, about the same time as you. And I'm like, okay. So my thought
Great.
is that no, it's fine. It's fine because, luckily we have two bathrooms now. That makes things a whole lot
Oh
easier.
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But the thing is that when she doesn't get up after her like umpteenth multiple alarm going off, uh, I used to freak out and get all stressed out that she's not up. And then I would like, I don't know, be angry when I'd go in and be like, get up. Like it'd be like trying to kick a teenager out of bed to get him to
Right.
school. And that's the one thing I did decide that I'm not doing anymore because she's a grown ass adult. And if
Mhm.
she's going to be late, that's on her. Um,
Exactly.
it's like you set 6 alarms and slept through, shut them all off. Like that's not
You,
my thing.
right.
I've got my own adult life that I've got to do
Mhm.
as well. And so that's made things a little bit easier because I'm just like, it, either she's gonna figure this out or not. Like, it's like
Right.
I don't have the capacity in the morning to deal with two little kids and then try to wake up my my adult my
Fully grown
spouse as
third kid.
yeah, exactly.
I'm just
Exactly.
gonna say it for you
Nope,
because
you're
that's what I
fine.
think.
So that's the other that's been the other thing. But like I said, like I'm just like it's almost like a yes, that is my monkey, but I'm not a part of that circus
Mhm.
type of deal. Like you get your own self up. So
Yeah.
that's kind of been this week. I'm just starting that out because she's
Good.
just now gone back to work and she's actually in the office this week. But yeah, I think those are the kind of things like you have to be like, all right, what are my responsibilities or what are not my responsibilities?
Mhm.
Because you know,
Yes.
down the road, if it's one of those things where she gets upset with the fact that she's late or whatever, and I'm just like, at that point, I'm just be like, are you an adult? Like
Right.
you have the capacity to do these things, and it is not my responsibility to like
Mhm.
drag yourself out of bed and all that.
Or do you want it to be my responsibility to get you up in the morning?
Because I'll spray
Then
you
you
like
need to, right, exactly. You need to be very, very careful how you answer because I
I
will
will.
make sure you wake
Yeah,
up
like
and you'll hate me
I
for
grew up
it.
in a house where my mom, I was a horrible teenager and like would not wake up, and she used to come down with a spray bottle and spray me like I was some cat.
Yep.
And I've done that to Hezekiah a couple times in the
Yeah.
morning, just so like he understands. Like I'm like, I mean it, dude. When I say like get up with your
It is
alarm,
time to get up. Yeah.
but yeah, I've threatened that to her a couple times actually. I'm like, either you get up or
Right.
don't be pissed that you're like, late or whatever. Like otherwise, like
Mhm.
if you're gonna give me like, the ability to do this, like this is what's gonna happen. She's like, I don't want
Yeah.
that to happen. I'm like, well, then you know what your other option is.
Bingo. Get out. Yeah. Do it yourself. And the thing is, too, is you deal with two people that already need you to do all of these things for them to get them up and
Right.
get them moving.
And
I
don't have
got
the
two.
capacity to get to
Got
where they
two.
need to go without you.
Right. Exactly. So I'll get them. But if you want me to do the same thing for you, I'm going to treat you the same way. And
Right.
you're not going to like it because you're an adult. And you should be able to handle this stuff,
Yep.
right?
I'm gonna put you in the
You want,
same boat.
you want me to treat you like an 8-year-old? Are you sure? Because this is not going to be happy.
We're gonna cut that three
Yeah.
off the first part. We're just gonna go with the 8 at the end of your age, and
Yes.
that's where we're going.
Yes.
So yeah,
Can't.
yep. So that so there's that, and it's it's all life, like
Mhm.
all kinds of different things. But
Well, I
oh
want to add one thing, and we don't have a lot of time to get into this, but I'm going to at least put it out there because I think it's something that a lot of us need to understand. Something that I've run into, and I will say my good friend Michael Holder uh, taught me this, and he's amazing. He's on his way to getting his counseling degree and what have you, and he's been
no, that's
working very
awesome.
hard for a couple of years. And one of the things he said years ago, before he even got into it, um, is he said, "You're not responsible for your wife's feelings."
Mm,
And I went, "Okay, shut up and let's talk about something else." But the answer, the reason we said it is because I didn't want to tell my wife things, because I didn't want to upset her. I didn't want to bring her down. I didn't want to make her sad. I'm just going to suck it up and I'll tell other people. But the reality of it is she's the pivotal person in my life.
right.
Everybody else is secondary. Everybody, she's my center, right? She's the hub, the axle. She's everything, and that she holds everything together for me. So she's the person I need to be able to talk to. She's the person I need to be able to go to and say. And in this case, it was when we moved here. I was very resentful. I was grieving. I was angry. And I took it out on her. Now I say take it out on her. I didn't talk to her.
Yeah.
I would gave her the silent treatment, and that's kind of an ass way to do it, but that's what I did. And he said, "You're not responsible for her emotions." And what I was doing is I was building a codependent, unhealthy relationship with my wife. I
Mm,
was making it to where, no, I'm going to have to just suck up everything that I do and hurt myself because I don't want to upset her. I don't want her to cry. I don't want her to be resentful or mad or whatever. And it was the probably dumbest thing that I've done in a long time, because talking to her for me is the way I solve my problem.
yeah.
I'm a talk therapy kind of guy. Let me just talk to you about this. Let me just express my feelings. Let me just drop it all, and then I'll take a breath and I'll be better. You don't have to do anything. I don't need you to change anything. I don't need you to fix it. I just need you to listen to me, and I need to see that you get that I'm having these emotions and I'm feeling these things, and that you either at least understand them and hopefully can kind of have empathy with it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and the belief that we're responsible for our partner's feelings is something I find that hampers a lot of us in this relationship. Because just like you mentioned, being able to go somewhere and read what other men are struggling with is so helpful.
Yeah.
It comes back to having that one person that we can go to and can tell all those things to. And it really should be our partner. You know, they should be,
Hmm.
again, one of the first people we talk to in a healthy relationship.
Yeah. Well, and
So,
that's a red, that should be a red flag to anybody that you're like, you can't do that. Like,
mhm,
what's keeping you from that? And
right.
what needs to happen to change that sort of dynamic to your relationship? So,
Mhm. And I
and
don't think this is your problem. I want to say that.
sure.
I
No.
I think people listening, that's something that we need to think about when we're talking about things like this. Like for your birthday, well, I don't want to upset my wife. I don't want to upset my family. Is it your birthday?
Right.
Then you need to just tell them, look, this is what I want for my birthday. I don't want a party. I don't feel like it. And I'm sincere when I say I really don't need anything, so I don't want anything. For for me, I told Marnie, and I'm hoping she'll get it for my birthday, but maybe I told her for Christmas what I wanted was each of the kids to draw or paint their rendition of Van Gogh's Starry Night,
Oh,
because
cool.
that is my favorite painting in the world. And I love it. And I've got representations of it in my office already. And like, I would like 4 little canvases of Starry Night in the way that each kid sees it, and where Fabian is an incredible artist and it's going to be amazing. And then Lizzie's really good too. And then James and Marcus are going to be like, okay, I put stick figures. But that's what I want. Right.
Yeah.
And if she wouldn't give that to me, right now, if we couldn't like afford something, that's not what I'm talking about. But if you like, I'm not doing that for you. That's not what I want to do for your birthday. We need to have a conversation, right? Because this is my birthday and this is what I'm looking for. And if what you want for your birthday is nothing,
Yeah.
you should be allowed to not have a party, not have a cake, not have candles, not do whatever.
Right.
That should
Exactly.
be your present, from your family. So,
Yeah, and that's kind of interesting too because like on the other side of it, like Corey is very much been in a place of like she always talks about she's wanting to go travel and go do different things or whatever. And it doesn't always have to be with me. Like I've been trying to help her to like foster friendships. Like that's been a
Hmm.
hurdle for her for a long time. And I've kind of figured that out, because it's like just I'm very outgoing and she's an introvert.
Hmm.
And so I'm like, it's okay. Like if you want to go hang out, like just say, hey, like I want to go do this and we'll make it happen. And one of her coworkers, who is like on the same level as her, so not like somebody she manages, it's actually another manager. They've, fostered this friendship, and she's always like talking about doing different things, but with her and stuff, but then she's not really doing that stuff. And the friend, or this friend, like she posted like, oh, I'm gonna go to Boston in April and I'm going to cheer on a friend of mine for the Boston Marathon and just kind of make a long weekend of it. Does anybody want to go with me? And I was like, hey, Corey, I was like, so and so is going to Boston in April. I was like, your birthday's in April. I was like, do you want to go do that? And she's like, I don't know. And I just put in there, I was like, you should talk to Corey about that. Like, just like posted it as a comment. And so Kristen was like, "Yeah, I'll have to talk with her." Well, while we were talking, I got a alert on my phone that said that I got invited to her conversation about going to Boston with her. I'm like, good. Like, I'm glad to see that like there were steps taken because
Hmm.
she needs a girls' weekend like that. And
Yeah.
this lady is different than some of her other friends that she's been around, and I think that it would help. Like the two of them have a lot in common, and so
Hmm.
for them to be able to go hang out, I think would be very beneficial. So
Cool.
yeah, and I'm excited for her, and that's great because those are the things that otherwise, like, she would just be like, "Oh, that would have been fun," and it's like, you could have went. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. It
there's
would have been
nothing
fun.
keeping you
Why
from
didn't you do
going.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's, and I know that, like, if I, for instance, like we were talking about, like, if I wanted to be like, I'm gonna go do this, like, she would make it happen.
Hundred percent.
It's just there's a little bit of lack of motivation in there, and then a lot of like I really am kind of just in this like like it's just another day kind of deal, and
Hmm.
and that could change. Like you know that's where I'm at right now, but who knows? In a couple of days, I'd be like, oh
You know
yeah,
my
like I want to do
advice?
this. What? What's your advice?
Let your children celebrate you.
I feel like they do that pretty regularly, honestly. Like
Hmm.
they they do a pretty good job of that without them really like trying too hard. So
Give them the opportunity to make you something or do something for you or with you.
hmm
Now, I encourage that really for Father's Day more because that's about you being a dad. And yeah, you should go experience things with your kids. But maybe for your birthday, hey, I don't want to use your kids' names because you do, but I guess it's okay. But Hezekiah, I want to go. Why don't you and I go down to the bagel shop and get some cream cheese bagels or whatever, and just the two of you go, and that be his birthday present for you.
yeah,
And it's not too much of a stretch for you, but whatever you do, however you would frame that. But I feel like if you gave them the opportunity to celebrate you, it wouldn't be about you and you could do it more easily,
that's a good idea.
because a part of it for us, for you and me, I know, is I don't want to do anything for myself. Why
Yeah.
would I? I don't, I don't like me at all, you know?
Well, I try to do
Um,
enough things to like, also it's like, oh, like I try to, have a regularly scheduled like night out, that kind of thing. And it's like,
mhm.
you know, you can only do so much for yourself before you're just like, this is getting boring now too. Great.
Right. I've done
Now what?
this and I've done that. Yeah, that's what we call depression, by the way.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That
Yeah.
whole boredom with things. Yeah.
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 I'm
Yeah.
definitely, yeah, I've been in there. Well, the other thing too, like you were talking about, like asking them to do stuff or whatever. Like once at Christmas we got them a Switch. Actually, we just got a Switch for the whole family, really.
Hmm.
But the kids were like, "Hey, like, we want to play. Like, we want you to play." And of course, like after Christmas and everything, and once my parents left, like I had to jump back into like full work mode because of the events that were taking place towards the end of the year.
Mhm.
And they were like, "Oh, are you gonna be able to play?" And I'm like, "No." And so on, I think it was Saturday, I said, "Hey, listen, like, we're gonna get up. You guys get breakfast. I'll get my breakfast." And I was like, after we get done with breakfast, we'll play video games, which is not how we normally do things.
Mhm.
And I said, we'll play video games. And they're like, "Oh, really?" And I was like, "Yeah." So like, and I told Hezekiah, when you wake up, and this is definitely a motivator for him. I was like, when you wake up, come wake me up, which is not normal. That's
Yeah.
not usually what happens. And so he did. He came over. He was very gentle. He's like, "Papa, I'm awake." And I'm like, "All right, buddy, like go get breakfast." And I took my time to wake up
Uh-huh.
and everything. But
That's awesome.
yeah, we played video games and it was a lot of fun. And this was when we had only just the two controllers. We bought two more of them so that we could all
Yeah.
play.
Yeah, you do
Um,
end up you do need everybody to have their own
Yeah,
controller.
it just kind of we were like, all right, like we should have just bought these ahead of time, but it's
Yeah.
fine. So anyway, yeah, so we did that, and that was a lot of fun. The kids really enjoyed it. Hezekiah, I think, enjoyed it more than Ruby, but we still all had a good time with it. So, um,
And that's the thing that he'll remember when he's 50.
right,
You know,
that's my hope.
that's
Yes.
awesome.
Build memories.
Yeah.
That's what it is right there.
Yep. Yep.
So even when you don't think you can, that's the other part. So
Well, here's to 2024 and building memories.
amen to that. I like that a lot. Well, we will talk to everybody next week, and we hope you have a good week. And if you've got any comments about what we were talking about, please post those as well so that we can interact with you a little bit better. And till next week, we'll talk to you later. See ya.
Good night, everybody.
I'm a dad, that's what I do.